We got a phone call this morning from a power line company that took down a tree, and there's honeybees in it, and it's just around the corner from me. So guess where I'm going to get those bees? Let's do it. So here's what it looked like when I pulled up to the scene. The guys that were working on the tree pretty much were finished, and the tree, it was already cut in sections, and the section that had the bees was all the way to the far right. And they wanted to stick around to watch me get them out, and I told them it would probably take me about an hour or two to get them out of there. So they didn't really get to see anything, but I sent them some pictures afterwards. But this is what it looked like when I first pulled up. So here's the tree. It's big too. It's real big around. And let's walk around on this side. And the bees are right up in there. So we need to get the bees out of there, and then there's another entrance up here at the knot. Right there. And that's where they're at. So they're in this section. Hopefully all we have to do is just cut off a small portion of it, and we can get them out of there. I think it'll work out where I can just cut off pieces of it and get them out. So the first thing to do when you extract bees from anywhere, whether it's a tree or in a house, is you need to vacuum a lot of the bees away. So I suck them up into this little vacuum that I've got. One of my bee buddies told me about this. You can buy this at Home Depot. It's called a bucket head, and it works great. It's a lightweight gadget that you can just, as long as you have power. So I've got a little power outlet on the back of my truck, and all I did was just take an extension cord with me. And what you do is you have to suck up a lot of the bees, but you have to do it gently. Of course, you can't be dropping it like I just did here. I dropped a little piece of comb, but you have to vacuum them off the comb and out of the cavity that they're in. So here I'm just cleaning them out and getting those bees mostly into the bucket. So that's step one anytime you do an extraction. So it doesn't matter if you're inside of a home, a shed, a barn, or a tree. This is basically step one. Now here's a close-up inside. It was really tough to see inside. I was right on top of the road too. You probably heard the cars going by. And this is where they were. They were tucked way up inside, and the bees, I was just vacuuming them out little by little. It's just a process that you have to do. You have to be patient with it, and it just takes time. You are trying to work quickly so that you can get the bees inside their new home as quick as you can. And so basically what I was doing was, as I was vacuuming them, I would dump them in front of the swarm trap that I brought with me. You can see in the photo here, I was dumping them out in front of the swarm trap. I had a couple pieces of comb that I saved from last year, and I was trying to find the queen. Sometimes you'll vacuum the queen up, and if you do, you'll notice that they kind of group up around the queen, and she'll go inside that swarm trap along with the other bees. And they weren't really marching in at this stage of the game, so I figured, well, I probably didn't get her yet, and my vacuum was starting to get a little bit plugged up with bees, so I just shook them out, and I started looking more intently for the queen. A lot of times she's one of the last to go, so she'll kind of hunker down inside, and you have to just be patient and watch for her. And more bees needed to be vacuumed out. It's surprising how many bees are inside one of these tree hollows. And here you'll see me using my long serrated knife. Boy, this is a handy little tool to have if you get one of these. I'll try to put a link to the description in the video below. If you do extractions, this is a must-have. By now I've already been vacuuming for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I've actually fired up the chainsaw and I cut away a section of the log so that I could get further in to where the bees were. I still hadn't seen the queen, and I didn't think that I got her just yet. And sure enough, she was still inside the tree hollow. Well, look what we got here. She was down there, deep inside. I'm just about finished cutting out all the comb, and she was in there. And she's a pretty girl. I think all the queens are pretty. But there she is. So now, come on over here and check this out. Here's what's going on. So I vacuumed them for the most part. Let's see if I can get this camera situated. So now that I have the queen, all I got to do is open that up, put her in there, and the rest of the bees will go right in. So now we've got her. And it should be easy from here on out. It'd almost be like your house getting hit by a tornado, and you survived, but you're kind of stunned. And that's why the bees aren't really attacking or anything here. They're just kind of stunned over what happened to them this morning. So now we just need to get them into a secure place. And so in order to do that, I just took the queen and I left her inside the queen cage. And I used a rubber band to tie her to the top of one of the frames and place her back inside this swarm trap. And once that happens and the bees recognize their queen, everybody marches in. So there's a successful cutout. It took a couple hours, but that's what's left. So I had to cut that chunk out and get those bees. They were way up in deep, naturally, where a bee would feel safe. But if you can see in there, that's what's left. So the good news is we got the queen. We'll give those bees a little time to get in the hive, and I'll start cleaning up. But they all should get in there pretty good. I just vacuumed them and then dumped them, but the queen was deep in there somewhere, and we've got her. And I don't think they were there long based on the color of the wax. It's very light colored. I didn't see any dark comb. So I think this is a colony or a swarm that just took this tree probably a week or two. Maybe it could have been a month, but based on the color of the wax, it's all very light colored, as you can see. And there they go. They should get in there just fine now that we've got the queen inside. So since I want to put them right into the hive, I don't want to leave them in the little swarm trap I got. I'm going to spray some sugar into these. I got some wax that I saved from last year. So once you get a few years of beekeeping under your belt, it's really nice when you can save old comb. Because now what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to feed them, because they have nothing. So all we have are just the bees. So I want to give them something. So I'm going to spray some of the sugar water right into the cells. And they'll go in there and they'll have something to eat. That'll get them started. This has been a very stressful day for them, so we want to help them out. So we're going to make sure everybody's got a lot of sugar water inside the cells. I'll even spray the bees.
nice one here, same thing. I'll just spray that up. And they'll go in there and have some sugar water, get them some energy. So I keep in my bag some, well, I guess for lack of better words, a jar of dead queens in alcohol. That's a real good way to lure them into a new box. So I'm going to put just a dab of this on the front entrance, and I also have lemongrass oil, and that'll help them too get used to this new box. I thought about leaving them in here, but I think I'm just going to make today the most miserable day for them. They've already been taken out of their tree house. I put them in the box, drove them home, and now I'm just going to go ahead and put them into their permanent house rather than leaving them into this nuke box and then taking them out in a week or two. I'll just go ahead and just move them all right into here, and that way it's all done in one day. Alright, so let's get them out and put them in their permanent house now so that it's all done in one day. That's just cover. Alright, let's get our queen first. She's right here on this outer frame. Okay, she's stuck in there, so I'm going to have to take one of these frames out first. And they're already being protective. That's why I did put the veil on. They're jumping on my hand a little bit. So that's okay. I don't blame them. So let's see if we can help them into their new house. Pull out the frame with the queen, and they're being very protective of her right now. And so here she is. Pretty good size swarm. So there's the queen. So we'll just pop her right in now. Right here. Yeah, see, they got drawn comb. Now I'm going to spray these bees with some sugar water. That'll help them calm down too after all they've been through today. That's never a bad thing. A little bit of sugar water on a stressful day like today. So that's what I'm doing now. I'll just keep pulling these frames and I'll just put a little sugar on them. Okay, so they just jump right on that comb that we saved from last year. So this is a great welcome. A little bit of sugar. There's another frame, so let's get them a little sugar too. That's a nice little treat there. So all that's left now is 2 frames and then of course a lot of bees. We'll just shake them and park them in front of the entrance of their new home. See if I can give you the view I got here. Alright, so there's, whoa. So there's the bees in the box, and here's where we're working right up here. All right, let me see if I can get you to... So we'll just put this last frame in. There's just one left. All right. All I want to do is just keep a frame here towards the front entrance. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 frames, and that's it. And we're going to just close it up right here. We got our follower board right here, and it's got a warp in it. So what I have is I've got some Swiffer wipe. This always makes a great crack sealer. So I just when I get this nice and snug as I can get it, you'll see that there's really not that much space anymore. So I'm going to just brush these bees out of here, and then all you do is just lay that Swiffer wipe right here. And just tap it in there. There we are. Make sure everything is tight. So all your frames, you want them nice and tight, packed together. And we'll just dump those bees in front of the hive. So we can close this up. Oh, get up there now. All right. Let's come around the front here. So you see, here's what we're working with. Let's see if I can get you to see what we're going to do next. Yeah, the more I thought about it, I just thought, you know, they've been through so much today. Why make them go through 2 big moves when we can just do 1? So that's all I'm doing. Just making it so that it's just one day where we rip the Band-Aid off and we're done. Because they're in love with the box and I can transport it. I really want them here. They'll get the message in just a minute. Once a few bees go into that entrance hole, they'll all start going in. See, there they go. A few just went in. Lots more coming in. And then the march, all of a sudden, once the word gets out that this is the entrance, they'll all go very quickly in. Looks like they've already got it. I think they're on the move. They're slowly marching up, and it looks like they're all going in the direction of the entrance. So that's good. Let's get them in there. If you're like me, it's fun just hanging out with the bees. And when they're like this, they're not in attack mode, so you don't have to really worry about them stinging you. All they want to do is just get this misery over with. They just got cut out of their comfortable, cozy treehouse, and they've been moved 2 times. They were in the transport box. This is their permanent house, so I just want them to get in their permanent house and get settled in. It's only going to be about another 30 to 60 minutes, and they'll be able to calm right down. And it's still early enough in the day. It's only like about 12:30 p.m., a little after lunchtime, and they'll be able to get oriented to this new location, and they'll be able to go right to work, because we're in a honey flow right now, so it's not going to be too difficult for them to reestablish themselves right here. So we can have some fun and just hang out, take some pictures with our camera phone too. I thought you might want to know what I take with me when I do the bee rescue operation. I like to take a little bit of sugar spray. That's handy. This is just for me. Sometimes I wash my hands with it if I get sticky and I touch a lot of honey, but make sure you stay hydrated. But inside my bee bag, I have a bee brush, duct tape. I've got my queen lure, in which right now I'm just going to dab a tiny amount right there. Get them going on that. That'll help them find the entrance. I like to have my smoker, but believe it or not, you really don't need this on an extraction. Like today, I used it for maybe 5 minutes at the very end when I needed to find the queen after I vacuumed most of the bees out. But here's something that's very handy. This is a serrated knife, and I think the official name for this is called a Christmas tree cutter. I found this out from Mr. Ed. If you ever watch his channel, he does tons of cutouts, and he always has this nice long serrated knife, and it's great for cutting comb that's deep inside of a tree hollow or inside of a wall that you have a hard time reaching. So I carry this. This is a kind of an expensive tool, but it's well worth it if you have to do extractions. It's a little bit sticky right now, so I need to wash it off. And this is why I like to have my water, so I can just clean it. I might have to just take this to the hose and hose it off real good, and they are sharp. You got to really watch yourself with these things, so really be careful. The reason why they're so effective is because they are so sharp. So just be careful with them and handle them, you know, along the edge right here. And these will cut a tree limb. So if you ever have bees on a tree limb, this works like a really good saw, and you can cut those bees off of a bush or a small limb real easy. Make sure you just dry it off real good before you put it away. You don't want it to get all rusty. So those are the essential things that I like to bring with me. I wanted to show you the rubber bands, though. I didn't get to use these today, but these are big rubber bands that you can just buy at a office supply store. And if you have to cut out comb, you can cut that comb out and rubber band it right inside your frame. So here's one of my frames, and if you put a piece of cut comb in here, all you need to do is just have these rubber bands just like this, and you just hold that all in place. Those are the main tools that I have. I do keep a small knife, and I also, believe it or not, this hive tool comes in real handy even on cutouts, so I always take this with me too. Those are my tools that I like to take with me. I keep this bag handy. I take it out when I do my own hive inspections, and it always goes with me when I do cutouts.
Well, thanks again for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this bee rescue mission that we did today. And by all means, stop and visit me online at enjoybeekeeping.com. So we'll see you in the next video. Until then, everyone, enjoy beekeeping.